to
I have one already.
Jai Sri Ram, everyone. I know it's Friday evening, but let's try that again. Jai Sri Ram. Jai Sri Ram. That's more like it. Namaste, Sat Sri Akal, Jai Guru Datta, Om Sai Ram. And we have all of you listening online. We are broadcasting live all over the world, also on Bhakti TV. And to all of you listening, wherever you are tonight, we say to you, Sat Sri Akal. Swagatam and welcome this evening to this beautiful home of the Balkaran family here in St Croix. And we are very pleased and very blessed to be amongst you this evening to share in Katha or to share little bits and pieces of our scriptures as recommended by this family. This evening, we, our Muslim or Islamic brothers and sisters, are also celebrating their holy festival of Eid al-Fitr. So for those Islamic brothers and sisters, many of them can join this broadcast from time to time. We say to you, Eid Mubarak, and very, very happy fasting. I know the month of Ramadan has come to an end, and holy and happy fasting to each and every one of you. Tonight I want to say a special welcome to members of the Balkaran family. I know Kavita ji is joining us in Tampa, Florida. Kavita, and we say to you, Sitaram, and certainly, thank you for having us and allowing us this evening an opportunity to share in beautiful bhajans, kirtans, pravachan, katha, and we have traveled, my brother and I, Seetal Ramnarayan, traveling from Miami, Florida, to be with you. This is our third or fourth visit, I believe, and we look forward to many, many more opportunities to share in the glorious scriptures of our Bhagwan. I ask all of you this evening, tonight is a celebration, firstly, of this new home that this family has acquired. And certainly when I walked in here yesterday, I thought we had the wonder. It's certainly decorated beautifully. And before we begin this evening, I was made to understand today, I was informed of a passing of a dear loved one of this community. I believe his name was Raj. Yes. And that is the grandson of Uncle Jack and family. Let us bow our heads in reverence and offer a short prayer for that departed soul, his bereaved family. Atma Shanti hai. May that soul's journey back to Bhagwan Shri Krishna be safe. Hari Om Mukam Karoti Vachal Pangum Langayate Girim Yad Kripadamaham Vande Paramanandam Madhavam Om Trayambakam Yajamahi Sugandhim Pushti Varganam Urvanukaviva Vandana Mrityur Moksha Mamruta Ram Nam Satya hai Om Satyati Atma Shanti. This evening, let us sit upright for a few minutes as we begin glorifying Bhagavad Gita firstly with these opening mantras. I ask all of you to please concentrate on that image, that beautiful son of Mother Parvati and Bhagwan Shiva with the elephant tusk, elephant face, to remove of all obstacles. Gajanan Swami Ki Jai. Hari Om, Hari Om, Hari Om. Shri Ganeshaya Namah, Shri Saraswati Namah, Shri Guru Charana Kamale Namo Namah. Gurur Brahma, Gurur Vishnu, Gurur Devo Maheshwara, Gurur Sakshat Parabrahma, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah. Ya Devi Sarvabhuteshu Matrurupena Samsita Namastasye 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 Namo Namah. Karpurvaram Karunavataram Samsara Saram Bhujane Praharam Sada Vasantam Hridayavite Bhavam Bhavani Sahitam Namami Atulita Balham Hema Shailavaneham Dhanujavan Krishnayo Jnaninam Vakanyam Sakala Guraniharam Manaramadhisham Raghupati Priyabhatam Vajajatam Namami Vasudeva Sutam Devam Kansacharurvardhanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Vande Jagadguru Yada yada hi dharmasya glanirvati bharat abhyutthanamasya dharmasya tadatmanam srijamyaham paritranaya sadhuram vinashaya chadushritam dharmasansthagunadhaya sambhavami yuge yuge. Hari Om, Hari Om, Hari Om. Praise the Balkaran Swami Ki Jai. Let us now bow our heads, close our eyes, and go into 1 minute of complete silence. 1 minute of complete silence to refocus, to rekindle our thoughts, bring our thoughts right to this satsang this evening, here in this beautiful home. We ask you now, breathe, drop your shoulders and let's relax. 1 minute of silence, please. प्रेम से बोलो गजानन स्वामी की जय. As we have refocused our attention, our thoughts now onto God. God is but one. We call him by many different names, many different forms. Tonight, we turn to the very first sloka of Sri Ramacharitamanus, this beautiful prayer called Mangala Ashtaka. Goswami Tulsidas writes, it's a prayer glorifying Bhagavan Sri Ganesha, Mother Vani, the goddess of speech, Mother Saraswati, the goddess of knowledge, and of course the sage Valmiki, the author of Ramayana. We sing beautifully Goswami Tulsida's verse, Mangala Ashtaka. Varnanam Artha Sangha Rasanam Chandasamapi Mangalanam Kartavaro Vande Vani Vinayako Bhavani Shankaro Vande Shratha Vishwasurupino Yabhyam Vinana Pashanti Siddhaha Swantastam Ishwaram Vande Bodhamaya Vidyam Guru Shankar Rupino Yamashvitohi Vakropi Chandraha Sarvata Vannade Sitaram Gunagam Punyaranya Vrivarino Vande Vishuddha Vidyano Kavishwaran Kapishwaro Principal Bhagavan Ramachandra ki Jai. Now, let us prostrate before the feet of our Gurus. The mantra says, Guru Brahma, Guru Vishnu, Guru Devo Maheshwara, Guru Sakshat Parabrahma, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. In the life of every Hindu or Sanatanist, there are always two Gurus. Anybody know who those Gurus are? Mother and father. Matru Deva Bhava, Pitru Deva Bhava. If your parents are alive, I'd like you to bring them to the center of your forehead. If they're here, you can bow to their feet. But if they have gone to the beyond, if they have gone to the other side, that is, take their image to the center of your foreheads tonight. Subliminally bow to them and seek their blessings. Because when we have the blessings of our parents, there's nothing else that's required in this world. Because that blessing of our parents, especially our mothers, is as good as the Divine Mother herself. Tonight, we sing this beautiful bhajan. Tonight I want to welcome all of the Gurus, mothers, fathers, brothers, sisters, my parents also listening down in the island of Trinidad tonight, and all of our devotees all across this world tonight, sharing this divine session of devotion, broadcasting live from St Croix, US Virgin Islands. Let us seek the blessings of the Guru. Prem se bolo Shri Guru Maharaj ki jai. Guru Kripalam Kevalam 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 Guru Kripalam Kevalam
The?
The table, this time we take the table, push the table this way. Take out the back this way. Keep coming this way. See where the chair is? Move the chair back. Thank you. Come in there.
You mean more forward?
Oh, this way. Thank you. Good. Good. Thank you. In every undertaking, we always glorify and worship Bhagwan Sri Ganesha, Prathama Puja. Tonight I ask all of you, you know, musical instruments are very expensive, harmonium, bullocks, mixers, and all those things. But God has given every single one of us at least 2 musical instruments that are absolutely free of charge. You know what they are? Yes, voice too. These 2. And they're free of charge. They belong to us. And we can use them any hour of the night, 24/7, 365, no fees. And here's what it works, just like this. Right? So tonight I ask all of you, let us create this positivity. There's a lot of energy here, a lot of Shakti in this puja this evening. Let us take it to the next level now, as we glorify Bhagwan Sri Ganesha, Prathama Puja. I promise you tonight, if you have any sort of pains in your legs, in your hands, in your back, whatever, come on, sing the praise of Bhagwan Sri Ganesha. He's the remover of all obstacles. Tonight we ask him tonight, in your lives today, whatever obstacles, whatever challenges, whatever difficulties you have, place it at the feet of Vinayaka as we ask him tonight. Sing and clap. Come on, devotees. Prem se Balkaran Swami ki jai. Om Ganapataye Namo Namah. Shri Siddhi Vinayak Namo Namah. Ashta Vinayak Namo Namah. We can definitely feel in His presence. Devotees. Tonight's katha, for the next maybe 30 or 40 minutes or so, is one that's very common, very popular, but also has a lot of deep meaning, a lot of deep teachings. It's not very often that we come to the USVI since COVID-19. It's been a couple of years. But the plan is to be here perhaps 3 or 4 times in a year to share with you in our scriptures, in our glories, divinity, and bhakti, to remind us and to also to uplift and to uphold Satya Sanatana Vedic dharma in these parts. You have many great champions here. Ravish is here, Uncle Jack is here, many of you, the Balkaran family, and all those who help and contribute to the Sri Ram Naya Sabha. Sri Ram Naya Sabha, beautiful mandir here which hopefully will visit at some point tomorrow during the day. Let us glorify Bhagwan Shri Krishna tonight. Many have lost loved ones during the last 2 or 3 years, either to the pandemic or for other reasons tonight. As he plays his mystical basuri, that flute, and he blows through those 7 holes representing the 7 chakras in this human body. That pure, that mystical, that sweet and loving breath of Bhagavan blowing through our bodies tonight. I want you to feel the energy. I want you to feel rejuvenated. I want you to feel the positivity, all the positive vibrations that are emanating tonight as we sing. Radhe Govinda Gopala, Jai Jai Govinda Radhe Gopala, O Radhe Govinda Gopala. Gently bow your heads and clasp your hands as I quote now. This beautiful, powerful mantra as we call upon Bhagavan Bihari Lal, the Purnavata Bhagavan Shri Krishna, Atha Shri Krishna Ashtakam, 8 verses glorifying Vasudeva. Vasudeva Sudam Devam Kansajanur Mardanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum. Atasi pushpa sankasham Bharanapur Chushobhitam Ratnakankanakeyuryam Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum. Kutilaka Samayuktam Purnachandra Nibharanam Vilasat Kundalam Dharam Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum. Mandiragandha Samayuktam Charuhasam Chaturbhujam Marhi Pincha Havachudangam Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum. Udbhala Padma Patraksham Neelajimudha Sanibham Yadav Shirodanam Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum. Rukmini Keli Samayuktam Pitambar Shobhitam Avad Tulasi Gandham Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum. Gopikanam Puchaplavanda Kumkumankitam Vakshanam Sriniketam Maheshwasam Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum. श्रीवत्सान्यथं मोहर्षं वानमाला विराजितं शङ्खचक्रधराधरं देवं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुं श्रीकृष्णाष्टकं विनं पुण्यं प्रातरुद्धाय पते कोटिजन्मकृतं पापं स्मराम्यहं विनाशति इति श्रीकृष्णाष्टकं सम्पूर्णं। प्रेम से वो वाक्य वृंदावन बिहारी लाल की जय। My dear brothers and sisters, devotees, now that you have been tenderized with all of this bhakti, all of this devotion, clapping that you all just did so beautifully, and made for us now, made for us to receive the glories, the teachings of our Lord, the Mahimas of Bhagavan Shri Krishna. But before we dive into the Katha tonight, let us look at some pertinent facts about the scriptures from which we will extract this nectar or honey contained in our pravachan tonight. We've heard of the text, the Hindu text called the Mahabharata. What is the Mahabharata? A great war, simply. It gives us a detailed description of this holy war that took place. 18 total books. The Bhagavad Gita, 18 chapters. It is said to have lasted a full 18 days, by which time most of the armies on both sides were destroyed. The Gita is just but a section or part of this great epic called the Mahabharata. But the Gita is worth its weight as the most valuable gems indeed. This masterpiece, comprised of unparalleled passages with depth and a lot of profundity. And these are inspired by Jnana, or wisdom, Dhyana, meditation, which is what we are doing tonight, and of course, Karma, or actions. They radiate with purity and a lot of wisdom. And in the center of this epic, this crowning jewel, the Gita, the song of life as it's called. I mean, if you have a copy of the Bhagavad Gita at your homes, okay, we'll fix that very shortly. This book, the book of songs, the book of love, keep it at your bedsides. And every night before you sleep, just read one chapter. One page, a couple of verses. It's in English. And you can also, if you Google Baba has it, if you go to Google, you'll find the Bhagavad Gita there. It's PDF. You can read it. Because I will ensure that you all have a copy of the Bhagavad Gita very soon. This book, called the Bhagavad Gita, was uttered from the lips of Bhagavan Shri Krishna. Does anyone know where? In India? Kurukshetra, on the fields of Kurukshetra, the battlefields of Kurukshetra. And today, there's still a banyan tree there in Kurukshetra. I've been there. Maybe you've been as well. Some of you have been to India. On the battlefields of Kurukshetra, this Gita was expounded by Bhagavan Shri Krishna to Arjuna. And who else was there? Were two other individuals present at that time when the Gita was being expounded. Who were those individuals? Anybody knows? Who was on top of the chariot? Hanumanji. Right? And who else? There was a blind man by the name of Sanjay who was listening to them. So those four individuals, three individuals plus Bhagavan, witness this beautiful epic to Bhagavad Gita. Kurukshetra literally means an area of action. It is just north of Haridwar, between Amritsar and Haridwar, right in the middle. The Gita gives us a very noble message of work. It is a gospel of action. Karma yoga, bhakti yoga, these are all actions. And it is often referred to as something called the Gita Upanishad, the milk or the essence of the scriptures, and the essence of the Shastras. The very first verse, Srimad Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavan Vacha, Dhritarashtra Vacha, Dharma Kshetre, Kurukshetre, Samaveta Yutsava, Mamaka Pandavaschayava, Kim Kuruta Sanjay. The great Dhritarashtra said, "O Sanjay," Sanjay was the blind man, "O Sanjay, after gathering on this holy field of Kurukshetra, this battlefield of Kurukshetra, and with a desire to fight, what did my sons and sons of the Pandavas do?" Let us note that the very first word in the Bhagavad Gita is what? Dharma. in this world today. Dharma is a great word of ancient India. What we are practicing here tonight, this is our dharma. Dharma is our beliefs, what we believe in. Devotees, this is why Lord Krishna declared, Mamai Vamsho Jiva Loki Jiva Bhuta Sanatana. The eternal Atma is in all beings, is part of my being, Bhagavan is saying. In this world today, we have I'm sure we have a multitude of religious beliefs here in the audience tonight. Roman Catholics, Muslims, Jehovah Witnesses, Buddhists, Hindus. Am I missing anyone? Sorry? Anglican. See, Baptists. All different denominations. But at the end of the day, our scriptures teaches us, one of the oldest, perhaps the oldest scriptures in the world. Sarvaloka Ekanatham. In all the universes, he may be called by several different names, but he is but one. God is but one. So when we do this, and we criticize and condemn and say, your religion and your... Listen, man created religion, God did not create religion. And this is where hatred came in. There should be no reason for this hatred. We are all one people. It does not matter our color. Bhagavad Gita chapter 2 verse 23. Nainam chindanti shastrani nainam dahati pavaka na chainam klebyo yapo na shoshati marutaha. God Krishna says to Arjuna, oh Arjuna, this device, I shouldn't say device, it has no, it's formless. This soul, this Atma that exists in every single one of us, that life force, that pranayam, which sits down at the 32nd vertebrae, not here, the Atma, it said that energy source is located way down here, near one of the chakras. That energy source, it has no color, it has no creed, there is no class, no caste, no sex, no passport, it doesn't belong to a country. You cannot cut it with a knife, you cannot bury it on the earth. It cannot be drowned in water. It is super. It is part of that super soul. But it exists in every single one of us. So if we are all creatures of God, why is there a war happening right now in Eastern Europe? The essence of the Bhagavad Gita, it's been misinterpreted and it's not fully understood. Tonight, we'll go a little bit into it. God has endowed all human beings, every single one of us, with some power. But the power He has bestowed on the human beings is greater, much greater than that given to any other living beings, trees included, plants included. They are living beings. Man's physical strength may be less, but God has blessed him with immense mental power. Every single one of us has the power of reasoning. Devotees, we have the power of dhyana, which is meditation. This morning in Pujan, Bhaiya sat right in front of me while we were performing Pujan. I can see him deep in dhyana and meditation while the mantras are being sung, absorbing the nectar and the energy of those Sanskrit Vedic mantras, awakening the Shakti in us. And of course, Nam Smaran, which we all did very well just now. Nam Smaran, where we clap our hands and we sing the name of Bhagavan. Every breath we take, we are calling God. Did we notice? In yoga, when we sit like this, we say soul. Hum. Soul, meaning like the Christ, I and my Father are one. So, we inhale the positive vibrations, all the positive energy around, and hum, we exhale all the negativities. When we exhale hum, anything that's negative inside comes out, all the carbon monoxide and so forth, carbon dioxide, whatever comes out. Devotees, with our willpower, we humans can achieve anything, any mighty task we set our minds to. There's nothing in this world that can we not achieve with our willpower. And that will of God. Where there's a will, there's a way. Right? Man is spending today his energy to travel millions of miles into space, but making very little effort to travel even half an inch into his heart. Tonight, I want you all to raise your right hands like this. Come on. And those of you online as well, joining us all over the world, raise your right hands. Come on. Place it now, bring it closely. Bring Bhagavan Shri Krishna, touch your heart. And say these words after me. I am not alone. God is with me. Again, I am not alone. God is with me. I am not alone. God is with me. Jai Shri Krishna. Forgive me. That's all it takes to go to. The positivity is right here. In every what does omnipresent mean? In every single atom, He's present. If we take this teaching tonight that God is present in every single atom, Before he can spew venom out of the most deadliest weapon in this world, which is the think twice. God is saying, listening to everything, that every thought, mantram bhajan says this, word, thought and deed. God He's there. So in Bhagwan, we just place it right here in our hearts. Consider now Bhagwan is in our hearts, and that is our filter. That is our filter. That is our antivirus filter, as we call it in the IT world. Anything that comes out of our mouth, anything that comes out of our head and thought, and any action that we do, it has to be filtered by God. And if God is not approved by God, don't do it. Do not add to your negative karma. Tonight, devotees, it is only possible to cross this ocean of earthly existence when we go before Bhagwan and we submit to Him selflessly. Tonight's Katha, the theme is selflessness, not selfishness. We have enough selfishness in this world. I want. And what happens when we become selfish? The more selfish we become, the desires go up like this. And when desires are not fulfilled, what happens? You become very unhappy. So the more desires you have, the more that you want and you cannot get, the more the unhappiness goes up. And when this fellow goes up, the unhappiness, blood pressure, I can go down the list. Do not become like that. Be sad. Remember, God knows everything. He knows where, when, why, how much and more. And you just said, I'm not alone. God is with me. Then trust in God. Trust in God. Put your ultimate faith in God. Whatever denomination you belong to, whatever form of God you worship, God is but one. Whatever form. Tonight, we sing the praises of Bhagwan in announcement. Glorifying Bhagwan Shri Krishna, this great name. Prem se Bhagavad Gita Hari Sundar Nanda Mukunda Hari Narayan Hari Om Hari Sundar focuses on an individual who was totally surrendered to Bhagwan. There are so many in our scriptures. His name was Kuchela. We all know him as Sudama. What do we mean by total surrender? When we look back at our scriptures, we can name Prahlad, Shabri, Meera, Draupadi, and the list goes on. Tonight we focus on Sudama, one of the childhood friends of Bhagwan Shri Krishna. Mitra is the name, friend. Mitra. You know, a devotee once asked me, Baba, how many friends do you have? What do you do the first thing? I took out my cell phone, looked at my contacts, several hundred. And he says to me, he taught me a lesson. He says, Baba, if you have an emergency in the middle of the night, let's say 4 o'clock in the morning, how many of those guys you will call? Well, the list went down right away. Devotees, true friends will carry you, but they will make sure they bring you back. Understand what I'm saying tonight? True friends will carry you. Be sure they will bring you back. If we examine the Webster's dictionary, one of my favorites, Merriam-Webster, a friend, she says, is one who is attached to another by affection or by esteem. An acquaintance, one who is not hostile. And that is the same, one of the same nation or unity or favorite companion or belonging to the same church group and so forth. The great Indian scientist and president, late Abdul Kalam, he says, a friend is someone who knows the song in your heart and sings it back to you when you have forgotten how it goes. We now take tonight a spiritual bath into the pages of the Bhagavad Gita and extract this wonderful Katha, this nectar tonight, filled with the divine nectar and philosophy. I ask you tonight to sit upright as we chant the holy blessings as we begin Katha tonight. Prem Sivalvaki Vrindavan Bihari Lal Ki Jai Bhagwan Vacha Radhe Radhe Om Prem Sivalvaki Vrindavan Bihari Lal Ki Jai Kuchela Naam Bhavatah Satirthayatam Gataha Swasandipani Mandre Dvijaha Tvavadikaragena Dhyanadi Vihispro Dinani Nye Prashtami Grihashami Bhagavad Bihari Lal Ki Jai Kuchela Naam Bhavatah Satirthayatam. Kuchela or Sudama was a householder who was studying along with Bhagwan Krishna at the hermitage of the sage Sandipani, this guru, due to his very great devotion to Bhagwan. Sudama led an extreme life of peace, free from all the worldly desires, and he dedicated his entire life to serving God and nobody else. Material things in this mundane world of no significance to Sudama. He did not have a car, he didn't have a proper house, not even a proper pair of shoes to walk with. But he loved his God. He was simple, and he had very simple taste, but no desires. As we just explained, when the desires are very low, happiness is there. The other way around, when desires go high, you have a lot of unhappiness. His senses were under control. What do we mean by this? He knew how to control his senses. There was no hate, there was no anger, there was no hypocrisy. None of the 9 negative qualities that we all have. Jealousy, things like this. Yet, he never blamed God or the gods for his fate or his poverty. In this day and age, happens to be, you bump your toe on a piece of rock or something outside, who is the first person you blame? Oh God. If you missed an opportunity, a golden opportunity, first thing, oh God, if I had known. Give you a good example. I had a good friend in Jamaica, musician. We would speak on a monthly basis. And over time, we became very close. Visited him, he visited me for him. And on this one particular occasion, I was traveling to India. And as I was about to board the plane, the flight attendants were directing me on which seat to sit. The phone rang. And it was my brother, Vijay, calling from Jamaica. I didn't take the call because I was boarding the airplane. And before I could get back to him, it was time to take off because we were late. When I landed in Dubai, on my way to India, the first message I saw on my phone was from his wife. Your brother has passed. What do you think my reaction is? Oh God, if I had known, I would take this call. Made the time to take it. Devotees, do what you can today in the words of Mahatma Gandhi, as though tomorrow may never come. If you haven't spoken to someone in years or months, Reach out to that person. Say, how are you? And say these words to them. Tonight I want you to just do that exercise. I love doing this exercise. Look to the right of you. Do you know this person? Look to the right of you. Do you know this person? Don't be afraid. There's no penalty to look to the right. I want you to tell this person, I love you. Now look to the left of you. Do you know this person? Tell this person, I love you. Come on. What did that just take, devotees? This is the love that we speak about. This is community. This is how humans should live. When you walk into an elevator, I do it all the time. When you walk into an elevator, instead of covering your face with your phone, tell everyone, Namaste. Namaste is a universal. You know, I thank President Trump for bringing this to the fore. Namaste, the universal greeting. When the pandemic struck, Namaste came with greeting because people were not shaking hands. What does Namaste mean anyway? Anyone?
I see God in you.
Close. I asked the little kid this once, what does Namaste mean? He says, no more stay. The God or divinity in me recognizes the divinity in you. That's Namaste. This is what we do. Namaste. It's a universal greeting. Use it. Kuchela's wife or Sudama's wife, Kalyani, beautiful name. She thought that she was, though she was as peaceful as Sudama, she had not won the war with the mind. She still had desires, for nice things. She was devoted to him, and she would only eat after he was finished eating. This is a practice of dharma. I remember my Aji, my Nani used to do the same thing. She would eat last if there's anything remaining. Make sure all the children. My Aji had 9 kids. My Nani had 11 kids. Huge families. But they would make sure that the families ate first before they sat for their meal. Devotees, Kuchela's or Sudama's wife was like this. Now, eating leftovers, sometimes she will get barely nothing. However, she could not bear the suffering for very long, pain, And she asked him one day, she says, Sudama, why aren't you not paying a visit to your mitra, your friend, the consort of Lakshmi, who is Bhagwan Krishna, and request for him some means, so we can end this pain and suffering? And Sudama looked at her, looking at her. She wore simple garments. Her clothes, her sari was torn in different places because she was doing housework all day. And she had not had a full meal since she was married to Sudama. Could you imagine this? Bringing a bride to a home and not having a full meal since she was married to Sudama because of poverty. She stood silent after speaking to Sudama, afraid that she had said too much. And her eyes looked to the ground, very, very in the subtle mode. And Sudama he felt very sorry for her. And this was the first time that she had asked for something because she wanted to see him happy and comfortable. And he told himself, you know what, I will please her and I will go to my friend. I will go. And there will be a chance to catch up, like buddies from a long time ago. And then he asked Kalyani, he says, Devi, is there anything in this house that I can take, any gift you take my brother? There was nothing there, not even rings, not even leftovers, because she had ate leftovers. So she went to the neighbor's house and she asked the neighbor, is there anything you can spare for my husband to take to his friend? And what did the neighbor offer? Some parched rice, a little bit of rice. Yes. Tied in a little jewelry, a little cloth. A little bundle. Sudama tied it, placed it in his pocket. Barely enough for one mouthful, devotees. Barely enough for one mouthful. But he's taking this now to his mid. You see, as we place our hand on our chest, on our hearts tonight, I have no fear, God is with me. This is Sudama tonight. I have no fear, God is with him. This bhajan tonight tells us what is about to happen, devotees. It says, when you have a companion like God, not even the storms of tornadoes can harm you. Even the sky will beyond the reach of the earth, and the earth merge into the ocean. If the entire world is lost in the laps of tornadoes, the onward march of God's friend can never be stopped. Upon whose head we place countless hands of God, no one can harm him. And by the power of God's name, even the mountains can be transformed into a blade of grass, or it can crumble and become dust beautiful bhajan sung by the late Mohammed Rafi. Oh, जिसका साथी है भगवान, उसको प्यारो देना, आदि और जिसका साथी है भगवान, उसको प्यारो देना, आदि और जिसका साथी है भगवान। Sudama now with this rice tied to his kurta in a little piece of cloth, barely a mouthful. He began his journey. But he was worried, in the back of his mind. How is he going to give this gift to Bhagavan Shri Krishna? Barely a few morsels of rice. You see, devotees, Bhagavan tells us, Patram Pushpam Phalam Toyam Yome Bhajya Prechati. It doesn't matter the quantity. It doesn't matter how much. You bring me a dried leaf, a flower. What is the magical ingredient? Love. L-O-V-E. It doesn't matter, devotees. As long as it's encased, encapsulated with love. And you see this word called love? You also shared love here a few minutes ago, left and right. That word is the most powerful four-letter word in this entire universe. Love. Love can win wars. I'm not sure what's going on in Eastern Europe right now. Love can win wars. Devotees, we speak about the offerings to God. There's a beautiful bhajan. Of all the gifts offered to love, true love pleases Him the most. And love should dwell in us at all times. One without love is a living corpse. Mark my words. A human being without love is a living corpse. Devotees, because of Lord Krishna's love, He discarded the choice offerings of Duryodhana in his palace. Instead, he went to the poor man Velu's home and partook of his vegetables. And through the fruits, even though the fruits were picked by Shavrima in Ramayana, Bhagwan Sri Ram, oh Ma, the most beautiful fruits I've ever eaten. Lord Krishna's love for Arjuna was so great that he even forgot driving him, that he was a divine person driving the chariot. And even in Vrindavan, the cowherd women, they sang and they danced and made merry through their love for Bhagavan Shri Krishna. And being so proud in the company of the Lord, they were intoxicated through his melodious flute, the flute charm. Devotees, it's a beautiful pleasure we sing tonight. And join me in the chorus, it says, Sabse Uchi Wat, Prem Sagai, Prem Sagai, with love. Sabse Uchi, Prem Sagai, Sabse Uchi. Sudama on his way now to Dwarka to meet his mitra, his friend. Gato yam ashcharyami bhavat purim. Griheshu sai bhaya bhavana saviman. Reaching the town of Dwarka, full of wonderful delights in the big city, he began to wonder about the reception that he would get in the royal palace. He was dressed, torn garments, dirty, hadn't been washed, very old, no shoes, looked like a beggar. But devotees, once Sudama entered the city of Mitravana, or Dwarka as it's called, he felt as though he had entered heaven by good will. Because the Lord lived there, the Lord resided there, Bhagwan Shri Krishna. And everyone showed him great hospitality. Friends, this bhajan tells us, please respond to my call, O Lord, the words of Sudama. O Krishna, why are you silent? Why are you hiding from me, O Lord? Why are you hiding from me? O Lord of Dwarka, alleviate my sufferings, for I am under your shelter. I am not alone. God is with me. In other words, have no fear, as He is here. I have heard that you are the remover of all pains and hope the helpless. If I was to have come to your door and quench my burning desire, O Lord, for you, by washing you with my tears, O Lord, don't show me ignorance. I plead, do not delay. Whosoever seeks your refuge, O Lord, is neither disappointed, and you always rid them of all their sorrows. In fact, you grasp their hands quickly and take them across this ocean of mundane existence. O Master, your door, I have been knocking at your door for so long. Please, O Lord, don't let me wait any further. It's a beautiful bhajan. This one's by the late Mukesh Chakravarti. तुम कहाँ छुपे भगवान करो बनते तुम कहाँ छुपे भगवान करो बनते दुख हर द्वारिकानाथ शरण गए Bhagwan Krishna, oh Lord, please do not deny me of your blessings. As he approached the gates now, and he saw the guards, the guards with their spears and whatnot. As they looked at him, first impression counts, as we say. And there's one huge mistake that we as human beings make without even giving it a second thought. This trait that we have called judgment. Prejudgment. Judgment. Not knowing the nature of the person or the situation that we are dealing with, we are quick to prejudge. This person, Sudama, wearing tattered clothes, dirty, like he hasn't taken a shower. He looks like a beggar. Not knowing that he's one of the greatest devotees of Bhagwan Krishna. Let us know, this judgment thing is not for human beings, it's not for you and I. Who is the greatest, or who's the one who's supposed to be judging us? Not those guys in the courts, They're not judges. They administer justice. The one who judges is Bhagwan. The Muslims, we say Mass of the Day of Judgment. The Catholics, I believe you all believe in the gates of St. Peter's, judgment. We as Hindus, we believe what's called karma, or karmic actions. You may have, the term good karma, bad karma is very common in North America especially, and here in the islands as well. Of karmic action, every thought, every word, every action, it results in karma. Now, I'm sure we all have bank accounts, some of us have many bank accounts. But there's something called a spiritual bank account. Have you heard of this term before? Spiritual bank account. And that is administered by the greatest banker in the world, who is God. And that bank account does not have any dollars. There's no US dollars or pounds or rupees or rubles or whatever the case may be. That has a balance of our good and bad deeds. Mantram, vachan, thoughts, words and deeds build that balance. You see what we're doing here tonight? We are adding, we're making deposits. Dharma, upholding dharma, relieving the pain of a loved one, helping the poor, feeding the poor, helping the blind across the street, the crippled to climb mountains, uplifting our brothers and sisters, not when things are going bad in their home or the neighbor's home. What do we say in Trinidad? To look in. It's good for you, it should happen a long time ago. That's what we say in Trinidad. Or one neighbor telling the next neighbor, when I die, I'll come back and I will do for you. What are you coming back here for? What is there? Is this Monday we'll go back home to Taiwan, where we all belong? That's super soul. Devotees. When Lord Krishna he heard the news in the guards that his mitra, Sudama, announced himself, that his mitra, his friend, has come to visit. He was seated on his throne, and what did he do? Dropped all his paperwork. He was having court. He was listening to his ministers, administering the duties of the kingdom. He dropped everything and ran away, barefooted. He left his slippers, his kharaf. He left his slippers there, ran. His trunk fell off his head, but he ran because he wanted to meet his mitra, his friend at the door. Devotees, when you take one step closer to God, God will take 10 steps closer to you. Mark my words. Just take one step closer to God. He takes 10 steps back to you. From tomorrow morning, if you all don't do it already, all of you, this is not a religious practice, this is yoga. You all have very easy access to the sun here in St Croix. I've been to pointed out, thanks to the Balkaran family. The sun rises here every day, I know that. When you see the sun in the first thing in the morning, what should you do? Thank you, God, for giving me another day of life. Tonight I'm going to leave with you a very special gift. These are two prayers that I feel helps us and helps our children, our families to uplift ourselves. When we wake up in the morning, on waking, we pray every morning. Oh Lord, it's in English, anyone can chant it. Oh Lord, I am born now from the womb of sleep. I am determined to carry out all tasks this day as offering to Thee. With Thee ever present before my mind's eye, make my words, my thoughts, and my deeds sacred and pure. Let me not inflict pain on anyone, and let no one inflict pain on me. Direct me, guide me this day. How can you go wrong? How can you go wrong? Putting God first. It takes, how long did it take? 20 seconds? 30 seconds? And at night now, I'm going to give all of you one of these tonight. Take it home, put it in the practice, put it on the side of your bed. At night now, when you go to rest, when you enter the portals of sleep, O Lord, the tasks of this day, whose burden I placed on you this morning, are over. It was you who made me walk, talk, think, and act. I therefore place at Thy feet all my words, my thoughts, and my deeds. My task is done. Receive me. I'm coming back to you. The words of my tongue set aside. Please don't leave it all one of these over. Take a couple of them. Put this into practice, devotees. Put God first. Put God in every single thought, word, and deed. Even when you're driving on the road, you don't have much roads here, but you all have road rage here. You have road rage. You say, I doubt that very much. You also have peaceful people. You don't have road rage. Okay. So if next time you're going to honk the horn, call God's name. Jai Shri Ram, Jai Shri Krishna. Devotees, the most salient part of this kantha tonight, the one that has the most value, is misconceptions about people, judging people, And this is where hatred comes in. When you prejudge, when you don't know someone else's circumstances, you are quick to pass judgment on that person. It is very common. And what happens here is fear of God should be absent in genuine devotion. What is genuine devotion? When you sit in your prayer room at home, you sit in your church, in your altar, you sit here tonight, you sit in front of your pictures, in front of your baby to perform puja. Your devotion should be genuine. You should not be worrying about anything else. And don't ask God. What do you ask God for? God bless us. Give us your blessings. Because He knows everything. Omnipresent. In the Bhagavatam, or scriptures, Sudama was one recognized constantly as engaged in the meditation of God. In the meditation of God. Narad Muni, one of our great saints, he would walk around 24/7, 365. Narayan, Narayan, Narayan. How could you go wrong here? His mind didn't have a chance to think about anything negative except Narayan, God. Devotees, Sudama had no doubt that his mitra, his friend, would receive him. And his wife, Kalyani, she asked him to give up. Sudama boy, give up all of your doubts. Your friend is going to accept you. He's going to hug you. He's going to welcome you. And proceed towards Bhagavan Shri Krishna. And she was certain that Bhagavan Shri Krishna would call him in if he took at least little trouble to go and visit him. You see, devotees, when you go before God and you submit like Sudama is tonight, totally. God, everything is in your hands. Everything is in your hands. Oh Lord, guide me, protect me, show me. How can you go wrong? Sudama is teaching us this tonight. You see, an example is fire. Right? Fire will warm everyone. And the only way to get that heat is you have to come near to it. That's so. So too. The only way to get the blessings of God is you have to come near to Bhagavan. And how do we go back to Bhagavan? Kirtanam, Smaranam, clapping, singing, listening to the scriptures as we are tonight. Being in the company of holy ones, good people. Devotees, when Uncle Mike and I spoke a few weeks ago, I said to him, I have one wish. And we have been at the Sri Ram Narayan Sabha many times. I have one wish. And that wish is to build such a Sanatan dharma here on this island of St Croix. At your country. We have a beautiful country. There are many out there, many different countries who are willing to help. Those of you who follow me on social media and whatnot, you know I travel extensively, building and helping mandirs and groups all over. That is my mission, to help and to uphold Sanatan Dharma. Why not here? Why not here? All it takes is a simple commitment. All I ask you is, please come. Please come when you hear the invitation and so forth. We'll discuss it a little bit more, but please come, like you are tonight. Please bring their children so they can learn, they can understand our rich heritage, our rich culture and scriptures that dates back 5,000 years and more, devotees. The fear that Sudama had, he had a little bit of fear. Going to his God, going to meet his God, is something that a genuine devotee, I'm not saying Sudama is not genuine, that a genuine devotee will never have. In other words, when you pray, you should be assured that God is going to deliver. I'm not saying pray for the 6 numbers and want to. I've tried it. But when you pray sincerely, and you pray for the things, health, strength, prosperity, your children, your family, your community, God delivers devotees. God delivers. The Lord showers His mercy on all distressed folks, and the one who longs for wealth, as well as the seeker of spiritual knowledge. And the distressed person who is ill and suffering, the one who longs for wealth, is the poverty-stricken who seeks prosperity and fortune. A great philosopher once said, if the only wealth you have is money, I repeat, if the only wealth you have is money, then you are the poorest person in this planet. If the only wealth you have is money, you are the poorest person in this planet. Bhagavan Shri Krishna now embraces mitra. And devotees, the bhajan tells us tonight, O radiant Lord Krishna, master of Maya, glory, who destroys harmful forces with the eyes and the petals of a lotus, He is most enchanting to the mind, inner innovator, sovereign Lord, supreme highest Lord. He appears clothed in human form and moves amongst men to uplift them. His beautiful bhajan tonight. I ask you to clap, clap, and sing with me. Keshava Madhava Jai Deva Madhusudhana Keshava Jai Deva Devotees, Bhagavan Shri Krishna now called up to Chela in Sudama in his palace. I mean, overwhelming joy. You know, when you meet up with old friends who you haven't seen for many years, you start, recollecting all of your school days and so forth. And they discussed the time that they spent. They were both in Gurukul together at St Sandipani, at his Guru Ashram. They discussed their time there in Gurukul. But Sudama, for some reason, was favoring his left side where he had a little ball of rice tied in a cloth. He's talking and laughing with Bhagwan, but like I'm hiding something. I don't want God to see it, But Bhagavan Shri Krishna, omnipresent, he knows everything. He read what was going on. And he said to him, Sudama, what did my Bhauji send to me? Tell me now, she must have sent me a gift. Sudama said, she didn't even know I was coming. And Bhagavan Shri Krishna now started to play with him and then realized, this is the gift that she sent to me. And he found a little bit of rice. Now what did Bhagavan do, devotees? He ate those few grains of rice with great joy and satisfaction. He didn't say to Sudama, you tied up in a little cloth and brought it to me. Why didn't you bring 5 grains? Could you bring a pound of rice if you're not hungry? No, devotees. Why? Because it was encased with love. It came from Bhauji with love. Devotees, we can prepare prasad of the God. We can prepare pounds and pounds and pounds of prasad, decorated beautiful with flowers and everything like that. And while offering to Bhagavan, if your mind is not there, if it's not encased with love, what value is it? What value is that prasad offering to Bhagavan? Offer it with love. Sudama, devotees, it is related in some scriptures that Rukmini Devi held on to Bhagavan's hand when he took 3 handfuls, when he took the 3rd handful of rice. And the reason is, some commentators would say that Rukmini Devi was afraid that Bhagavan Krishna would give Sudama all the riches. You see, misinterpretation, misconception. This is where the British translated all Sanskrit scriptures, word for word. Missed the point totally. It was not a bad thing. This was a good thing. Why? She's Lakshmi Ma. She's Dhan Devi. Dhan Ki Devi. How could you Dhan Ki Devi owns all the wealth in the world. Come on, devotees. You see, misconceptions of the translations of all beautiful scriptures. Prabhu, Bhagavan Shri Krishna now, he ate this rice with great joy and sadness. You all know the story very well. And Bhagwan Shri Krishna washed the feet of Sudama. Can you imagine this? He's the king. The king of Dwarka washing the feet of his Mitra, his friend, because his friend was elder than him. Washed the feet of Sudama. In Christianity, the Pope, the priest, they wash the feet also. They kiss the feet on Good Friday with the beggars, the poor. We've seen this in Trinidad. Those people in South Trinidad, they have a place called Subari Mai, Subaria. Some of you have been there. This occurs, devotees. Sudama now, spending the night, he was given a beautiful bed, a bed which he hadn't slept on, a bed with a mattress. He was sleeping on the grass floor because he was poor. Bhagwan Shri Krishna put him in his palace with a beautiful mattress to sleep. He spent the night. And then the next day he said, okay, Bhagwan, my Mitra, I'm going back home now. He didn't ask for anything. He did not ask for anything. Why? That's who he was, devotees. Humble, simple. Because he believed, by faith, God is with him. God is with him. He was so lost in grief, though, on his way to the journey back home, thinking in his mind, I have left my friend's palace, not asking for anything. And I'm going back home, my children are hungry, they're suffering, they're going to die. Devotees, he was so caught up in his grief, And he was walking now past his home on the street where he lived. And he walked right past his house. Why? He couldn't recognize it. Why? Because Bhagwan Shri Krishna had converted that house into a mahal, into a palace, into a bungalow, and provided him with all his wife and children, beautiful new clothing, food, groceries, etc. And then she called out to him, Kalyani called out to him, and said, Sudama, this is what Bhagwan Shri Krishna gave. Thank you. She's telling him now, she's thanking him for asking Bhagwan Shri Krishna for blessings. And Bhagwan Shri Krishna knows it all. Blessed him, and this is the story tonight, devotees, of Sudama. The Mitra, the very, very simple Sudama. Bhagwan Shri Sai Baba teaches us tonight as we close. Sweeten your speech and sanctify your deeds. Sudama's spiritual practices began on that day that he came back home. Not that he wasn't practicing before, but he gave up, even though he was living in a mahal, in a palace, with beautiful clothing, all food and everything. He made his time 24/7, 24/7 to worship Bhagwan. And until then, he was just a ritualist, in other words, chanting mantras and so forth, going through the outward forms of the rites and the prescribed scriptures, shastras, etc. There are many in this world like that today, wear white clothing, big chandan, mala, and all these things, and rituals. That's all it is. Rituals. The practice is not there. When Sudama realized now how the Lord can, through his miraculous powers, transform poverty into wealth, he decided to win the grace of God and secure perpetual, undiminished joy. That is to say, to win that merger with God. In other words, to go back to Vaikuntha, to Bhagwan Shri Krishna. That is the moral of this kantha tonight, is how do we get back home? Very simple. Make God permanent in our lives, 24/7, 365. He got the true vision. A vision that was called Sudarshan, the vision of God. And in the midst of the treasures that now filled his residence, he lived the life of an ascetic, like a sage, without any attachments. Nothing mattered to him other than his time with God. And he knew that it was all a dream, devotees, that the riches and the poverty then one day would also disappear when you leave this planet. The story of Sudama tells us, how to meditate and to worship our God. And Sudama knew exactly what had to be given to the Lord. The Lord cares for the feeling that accompanies the gift when we make offerings. He cares for the feeling, the emotions that accompany that gift. The attitude that the offering is being made. He's never moved by the quality, quantity, or cost. Remember this. What glitters and glamours doesn't matter to the Lord. Draupadi offered a tiny piece of leaf sticking to the side of a vessel in which she had cooked a meal with Bhagwan. And the Lord was so fully fed that he was freed from all hunger just by putting that tulsi leaf. Rukmini placed that single tulsi leaf on a scale. And since she saturated that tulsi leaf with her devotion, it was able to balance on our way, the way to Bhagwan Shri Krishna. You all remember the story very well. Sudama took this little bit of beaten rice and parched rice, and the Lord ate it, and relish the high quality of the food, encased with love. The maxim tonight, in the morals of this katha, selfless service to humanity is service to God. Selfless service to humanity is service to God. When you are doing something for the community, for your temple, for loved ones, don't look like anything in return. Leave it in the hands of God. God knows. You see that spiritual bank account we spoke about? Selfless service to humanity, it makes grave deposits into that account. So that at the day of judgment, so to speak, when our time comes to leave this mortal plane, when we have to negate that positive and negative karma, that positive balance will outweigh the negative balance. It's a wash. So then we can move, we can journey there, not look for Yamaraj in the other direction. Devotees, as we close this evening, let me express my gratitude to all of you for coming out and listening, participating in our Puja Branded debate this evening. To all of you listening all over the world tonight on our broadcast, thank you all so much. The mission continues here in St Croix and maybe other parts of the US Virgin Islands, as we are trying to uplift our Sanatans and those interested in our very, very rich, vibrant scriptures. They are meant taking one step closer to God, performing puja, kirtan, satsang, bhajans, and so forth. Let us continue to share in the depths and in the glories of our beautiful scriptures, loaded with teachings on how, simply, how to go back to God. That's all it is. My dear brothers and sisters, tonight, accompanying me on Mullah, traveling from Miami as well, my dear brother, he was thinking he's been here with us before, Sita Randran. Give them a lovely round of applause, please. Thank you. And the host and hostess, the families of this beautiful session of devotion tonight, Uncle Mike, Balkaran, Auntie Devi, and Aji and Aja. Thank you all so much to all the children and the extended family now, and Kidji, Bhayaji as well from St. Thomas. I believe Kavita ji is on, looking or listening in Tampa, Florida, Tejas, and all the other relatives and friends who could not be part of this evening. We say to you all, thank you, God bless you. And for those of you who are interested, this family actually traveled with us just before the pandemic to India. We do tours to India. Little bit of information for you. If you need more information, you can see me after Qatar. But we travel to India to visit places like Kurukshetra. We are going to Kurukshetra in 2023 on the way up to Amritsar. And the Balkaran family will tell you, we went to Mathura on your last tour in 2019, I think, or just before the pandemic. Mathura, the birthplace of Bhagwan Krishna. And I always share my experience there. It's a beautiful place. The jail cell that is alleged Bhagwan was born in is still there. They built a beautiful temple over this jail cell. And my experience every single time, we've gone to the last 14 years, every single time as I place my hands like this on the wall, I'm about to go enter that jail cell. You know when your hands are wet and you touch an electrical circuit, that type of electricity, that's what I feel personally, in the name of Krishna. That's what I feel. Because something great has happened here. There are certain places that you will go. There are certain places that you will go and the tears begin to flow from your eyes and what's happening? That divine spark, that divine energy is still present with us today. I thank you all from the bottom of my heart for allowing us to share in our scriptures this evening. It's just that we're just scratching the surface. There's so much more. I'm on the back of these prayers that I'm giving to you. It's an opportunity for you to join me. There's some information on here. You can join me, as many are tonight, on social media platforms, Facebook and YouTube and so forth. You see, when the pandemic started, just after the Balkaran family left us in India, we got stuck. We were quarantined for a month in a place called west of Delhi is Gurgaon. And started in the room, it was Navratri, and I started doing broadcasts from my hotel room on the phone, and it grew, it morphed into something called Shivoham. And I started a bi-weekly broadcast during the pandemic, just to keep our devotees all over the world, people from all over the world joined us. And we do 2 hours satsang on a Tuesday and a Saturday. Now, because things have almost come back to normal. Schedules have changed. And there's, at least I can assure you, 1 or 2 events every week that you can join, just like this, that we're seated here, which you can join us remotely. You can sit back on your smart TV at home, put on YouTube, and live broadcasts are coming to you because of technology today. Please join me on this mission, and invite others to join as well. And let us continue. All it is, devotees, there's no cost for this. Let me repeat, there's no cost for this. This is because we love the Sanatana Dharma, to uplift and to uphold, to share the beautiful teachings of our Lord, and to enrich people's lives, to enrich the lives of devotees, simply by sharing love. Simple. Tonight, as we close, a beautiful bhajan done in Bhojpuri style. Those of you from Trinidad who remember the late Isaac, the Balkaran. Yes? This bhajan summarizes it that happens. I must thank Dr. Jack for the use of your harmonium. Thank you so much, Dr. Milne Sudama Sudama Oh Sri Krishna Ji ke ad Ore Rama Milne Sudama Hasi hasi we must bring this beautiful session of devotion to a close. Let us sit upright. It's been a pleasure, it's been a real blessing to sit in this home today with this family, with our family, with all of you here in St Croix, to share the glories of our scriptures, our very rich scriptures. I thank again the entire Balkaran family for hosting us and look forward to seeing you again very, very soon. Let us give praise and thanks to everyone. कथा विसर्जन होत है, सुनो वीर हनुमान, रामा लक्ष्मण जानकी सदा करो कल्याण। एक घड़िया दो घड़ी आलो में बुढ़िया, तुलसी संघट साढ़ी के घटे खोट अपराध। श्रोता सब सबे शंभु गए कैलाश, रामायण हृदय आन करहु तुम पास। परमं पवित्रं बाबा विभूति, परमं विचित्रं लीला विभूति, परमं ऐशान मोक्ष प्रदातं बाबा विभूतिं इदमाश्रयामि। परमं पवित्रं बाबा विभूति, परमं विचित्रं लीला विभूति। समस्त लोका सुखिनो भवन्तु, समस्त लोका सुखिनो भवन्तु, समस्त लोका सुखिनो भवन्तु। ओम शांति, 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 प्रेम से बोल गजानन स्वामी की जय, उमापति महादेव की जय, सत्य सनातन धर्म की जय, प्रभु रामचंद्र भगवान की, बांके वृंदावन बिहारी लाल की प्रेम से बोल भगवान श्री सत्य साई बाबा जी की जय। जय 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 सीताराम। सबको कोटि कोटि धन्यवाद। Devotees, number 9, we'd like to ask one of you, one member, either you or member of the family, to please come and give a vote of thanks. Sorry to put you on the spot. Sanjay is smiling, maybe you like it.
No.
Come.
Daddy?
You have a husband, you can put punishment.
Oh yeah, he can say.
You're good at this, come on. Have no fear, because? Oh, you see? Come on. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Ready? We're going? Alright. That's okay. So on behalf of members of the Balkaran family and all the extended family, we say to you, thank you, Dr. Bhaiya. Will you get to speak on behalf of the family? Come on. I know you can do this.
Jai Shri Krishna.
Jai Shri
Krishna.
Well, I guess I'm thanking all of you to show up tonight in this amazing prayers that Mikey has organized, and Buddy is here from Minnesota. And I thank one and every one of you for coming and enjoying this evening. Please, before you leave, take part of the dinner, and it's $5 each if you just pay me. Yes.
Thank you very much. Give him a lovely round of applause, please. Yeah? And while we are here, dinner is being being prepared. Don't worry. Cell phone here, it's live. Just kind of, I'm sure everybody, the world is beautiful places here in St Croix. We have viewers from Mauritius, from India, from Fiji, from Hawaii, all over the eastern seaboard, North and South America, Europe, England, all over. So, wherever you can say Jai Shri Krishna to all of them. Say the blessings of St Croix. It's a beautiful island. It's always a pleasure to be here. Let me personally thank Nari for always being, we call him Kevat. You know who's Kevat in our scriptures, right? The boatman. Carries you around, navigates you. Whenever we come here to St Croix, Nari is always our boy. Hey, I'm right, St Croix boy, you get it. Nari is someone who I consider, he has a golden heart and he's always willing to help. I see him as a future leader, not in politics, a future leader in Sanatana Dharma here in these parts. Give him a lovely round of applause. He's a very hard-working individual. Sachi, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to make you cry, but that's the love. You see the love of Bhagwan Shri Krishna just emanating here tonight. Devotees, if you have any questions, if there's anything perhaps in the Katha that you didn't understand tonight, I'll make myself available. For those of you who would like to stay in contact with me, please take one of these. I'm going to ask my brother to lead them somewhere. Nari, come, Nari. Please take them, utilize them, and join us on this mission to uphold our very rich karma. Again, all you're doing is ensuring that your children and for generations to come will have some place to call home in these parts. And what other better venue than the Sri Ram Narayan Sabha Mandir, a beautiful mandir up on the hill. We're going to make it happen, okay? Prem se bolo Bhagwan Shri Krishna Chandra ki Jai. Remember to love all and serve all until we meet again. Jai Jai Sita Ram Satkure. Bon appetit.
Am I finishing this?
Yeah, you can end it.